Welcome to the Mental Health Militia News, where I am your host, Chabot, here with his co-host, Mr. Munster. Thank you, Mr. Munster. Today in the news, we have a doozy, but before we get into that, I must mention a disclaimer. Yes, a news station that comes with a warning. Why? Because we care that the information we provide you might be fire, but it turns out that it is me and Mr. Munster gathering it, producing it, writing it, and delivering it, so it could blow up in your face just like this, gentlemen. So please listen with some discretion and use this for educational purposes only. Moving on from the fire to yes. As we are still sitting in the great media war of 2021, we notice many of these major media platforms are co-signing each other's bullshit, and that we see that they're just running it. They don't care. They're even falling over their own words. Moving on from the great media war to yes, as we're starting to understand who Chabot is, you will not see him with so much energy like you are seeing him right now, because it is 12 o'clock in the afternoon. I was going to make a recording last night, but I was tired. I was like, I can't do it. I can't do it. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning, 1:30. I was like, no, we can't continue. No more. Moving on from who Chabot is to the opening story. How Obama and Biden installed neo-Nazis in Ukraine. Yes. Today's war cannot be understood without first understanding the U.S. government's role in Ukraine median coup. Yes, we see here that a coup has started since 2014 between these two U.S. presidents trying to overrun this country, but you will see later on that it started much earlier than that. Moving on from the news to the sick world news with your MHM news. The World Economic Forum freezes all relations with Russia. Putin. The controversial World Economic Forum announced that it has frozen all the relations with the Russian government and President Vladimir Putin due to invasion of Ukraine. Yes, we see here that because of this freeze of these relations, we will see a new world order of currency probably sweeping the globe in a decentralized form, and gold probably fly up through the roof. Moving on from the news to yes, American freed from Venezuela says his nightmare has ended. An American oil executive freed from custody in Venezuela said that even as he celebrates with his family the end of a long nightmare, he's praying for the release of 5 colleagues who are still imprisoned and deserve the same blessings. As we see bootstraps Joe Biden calling all over the world looking for oil. He's like, Venezuela, y'all got some oil? Oh, all right, we'll buy some oil from you, but you gotta release one of our oil tycoons. Wait, there's an embargo on us? Well, we don't care about the embargo. Yes, there's an embargo on Venezuela, and bootstraps Biden don't care. Wow. Yes, the International Atomic Energy put out Ukraine has informed IAEA of power loss at Chernobyl nuclear power plant. Says development violates key safety pillar on ensuring uninterrupted power supply. In this case, the IAEA sees no critical impact on safety. The IAEA says heat load of spent fuel shortage pool and volume of cooling water at Chernobyl nuclear power plants sufficient for effective heat removal without need for electric supply. IAEA update for March 3rd is pretty much saying that they are up, running, and safe. Moving on from the news to the sick world news with your MHM news. Ooh, it's sick. Blech. Moving on to yes, McConnell ups Pelosi's $10 billion for Ukraine to $14 billion. Where is it all going? Their pockets. They're washing it, putting it in machines like. Yep, it ain't going into my pocket. No, I had to buy this coffee with change. It was like ching, 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 ching. I was like, here, I just threw it at the lady and ran. Expected her to count it. Wasn't all there. She'll find out I just stole the coffee. Moving on from the sick world news. To the yes, did the U.S. military install biolabs in Ukraine? Mr. Munster said yes. Yes, we see here in 2015 2015, an agreement was arranged that George W. Bush and his office put stem cell research pathogens bioweapon program in Ukraine, and that Ukraine has been corrupted a lot longer than you think. Moving on from the news to the big tech section. How can I not help you in your tech support with your MHM news? Yes, Ukraine prepares potential move of sensitive data to another country. As the Russian forces sweep over the corrupt Ukrainian country, they are looking for a decentralized platform, most likely to send sensitive data not being able to be stolen or re-corrupted, because that's how these new crypto electronic digital platforms work. They just can code your information, send it, and not be decoded unless you have the key. Moving on from the tech news to the border jumper section of the border jumper section of the MHM news. Yes, GOP-DM spending bill funds border security for 8 foreign countries, but not the United States of America. We're just going to let Pablo and Julio and Juan all come over the border. These people ain't even coming over the border. They're just walking around the wall. A Democrat spending bill negotiated with Republicans uses American taxpayer money to fund border security measures in 8 foreign countries, while including no new funds to construct a border wall along the United States-Mexico border. That's right, bring them all in. The government funding package spending bill, about $370 million in taxpayer money to fund enhanced border securities in Jordan, Lebanon, Egypt, Tanzania, and Oman. At least $150 million of that funding is allocated for Jordan's borders. Yes, as we see that these people do not care about these South Americans coming up, bringing whatever they can, or maybe they're not even South Americans. They could be terrorists. I don't know. But we see these people just able to still get over the American border, but not our foreign countries. Moving on from the news to the, yes, voter fraud is a felony and could get you up to 3.5 years and a $10,000 fine, or get beheaded. Moving on to, yes, grand jury indicts Mesa County Clerk Tina Peters and Deputy Clerk in election system breach investigation. Peters is facing 10 counts, including attempting to influence a public servant and criminal impersonation. Yes, we see here that these people were absolutely wilding, thinking they could be anybody they wanted to be, and just tried to impersonate somebody like it was like they were I don't know, just trying to just make stuff up on their own, but it never worked. Moving on from news to the, yes, the funny money section of the MHM news. Mr. Munson said the money ain't so funny if you take it from him. Yeah, then you're gonna get angry, you're gonna bite you. Moving on to the, yes, Elon Musk seems to be trolling the creators of Bitcoin. Yes, we see here that he circled the SA on Samsung, the Toshi on Toshiba, the Naka on Nakamichi, and the Moto on Motorola. I believe these are all Japanese companies. Now, were the Japanese people responsible in the decentralized creation currency, or to create a decentralized currency? Could these people be trolled? And since we now know who may be the creator of Bitcoin, the Satoshi Nakamoto, but now it is these big tech companies, will we see Bitcoin reduced to half, if not go to zero? Bitcoin really doesn't have a utility. There is no utility behind Bitcoin. You just trade numbers and a blockchain. Moving on to Coinbase blocks over 25,000 Russia-linked crypto addresses. Coinbase, one of the most popular cryptocurrency exchange platforms, announced today that it's blocking access to more than 25,000 blockchain addresses linked to Russia, individuals, and entities. The company also shared all the block addresses with the U.S. government to further support sanctions enforcement. Woo! yes, we see here that Mr. Munster and Chabot are pissed because this money ain't funny no more, because we are getting angry and got to get your money off the blockchain. But you never really take it off the blockchain. Your money stays on the blockchain. You just put a code around your blockchain numbers. Moving on from the news to the crimes against humanity with your MHM news. How are we going to prevent crimes against humanity, Mr. Munster? Yes, we are doing it with standing up with each other. Huh. Moving on from the news to exclusive deleted web pages show Obama led an effort to build a Ukrainian-based biolab handling especially dangerous pathogens. A deleted web article recovered by the National Public reveals that further President Barack Hussein Obama spearheaded an agreement leading to the construction of a biolab handling especially dangerous pathogens in Ukraine. So we see that George W. Bush also had a biolab constructed in Ukraine in 2005, and we also see that Barack Hussein Obama also had a biological lab constructed in Ukraine handling deadly pathogens. Are we seeing these people all in one satanic forum? I believe so. Moving on to the fraud, scams, and lies could target you, so protect yourself, people. You gotta put them up. You gotta be, ooh, we ain't gonna take this. Moving on from the news. Oh, where'd I put it? There it is. To 5 Democratic governors call for feds to suspend gas tax. In response to skyrocketing gas prices, 5 Democratic governors have sent a joint letter to Congress urging lawmakers to approve of Gas Price Relief Act, which would suspend the federal gas tax for the rest of 2020. Yes, the governor, Tom Wolf, Pennsylvania, corrupt. Governor Gretchen Whitmer of Michigan, corrupt. Jared Polis of Colorado, he's accepting crypto now for taxes, corrupt. Michelle Gulp Gershom of New Mexico, I am just going to shut up now. And Tony Evers of Wisconsin, oh gosh, corrupt. Yes, we see here that mostly these people are looking like they want to stand up for their people, but most likely they aren't, or they could just be trying to save their tuckuses. Be like, oh, please feel bad for me. I robbed you of your human rights. Moving on from the news to the how do we iron out racial intolerance with your MHM news or racial propaganda? I'll get it right one day. To leftist hack Joy Reid claims Americans only care about Ukraine because they're white and Christians. She got me. She got us, Mr. Munster. They white and Ukrainian. I don't even think they're white. Either way, this lady on Monday, leftist hack Joy Reid, is back with her racist antics, claiming that Americans and the rest of the world only care about Ukraine and Russia because they're white and Christian. Has she ever been to Eastern Russia? I don't think Eastern Russia is all white. Does this lady even know what Southern Russia looks like in the middle part? I think those people are brown too. Oh, this lady's nuts. Moving on from the news to footage private school teachers nationwide implementing race essentialist curricula trained by Black Panther. Solid? No, you see this guy probably most likely pushing racial propaganda such as critical race theory. So these people are just trying to do whatever they can to mess up these people the best way they can. Moving on from the new, through teacher training lectures with the titles of Cultivating Anti-Racist and Activists in Kindergarten, Decolonizing the Minds of Second Graders and the White People Way, the nation's leading accreditation association for private schools is instructing educators to adopt a race essential and cultural Marxist circulatum for children as young as 5 years old. Curriculum. Oh my gosh, what is there's so many voices going on inside of my head. I've already moved on from this article, so I fully apologize. Moving on to the news section of your MHM News, the face melting of your MHM News, the face melting section with your MHM News. Yes, U.S. dismisses Russian claims of biowarfare labs in Ukraine. The United States on Wednesday denied renewed Russian accusations that Washington was operating biowarfare labs in Ukraine, calling the claims laughable and suggests Moscow may be laying a groundwork to use a chemical biological weapon of their own. Yes, we see here that our government's pretty good at lying. They're like, bioweapons? You have evidence? You have evidence? Because we're deleting it as we speak. Moving on to the U.S. Embassy removes Ukrainian biolab PDFs from website archives.org. Still has documents. Days after Twitter suspended an account for the high crime of accurately reporting that biolab facilities in Ukraine match up with Russian targets in their ongoing operations, the U.S. Embassy in Ukraine appears to have scrubbed various PDF fact sheets and documents from their official sites. Yes, we are seeing that they are trying their best not to have these biolabs traced back to them, but we see that they are being able to be traced back to them because that's how detective works. Moving on. Wow. Russia tells the U.S. we have found your biological weapons. The director of the Information and Press Department of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Russian Federation, Maria Vladimirovna I slaughtered that. Today told the United States on Wednesday, we have found your biological weapons. There was a statement made by the Deputy Secretary of State Victoria Nuland. Leave no doubt will not give Washington to be silent. Will not give Washington to be silent this time. Their attempts, while spilling blood, to find biological and chemical weapons throughout the world. We have found your own products. We have found your biological material. As it turns out, it was all happening in Ukraine, RT, Russian state-affiliated media reported. Gosh, we see that these people are getting through as much as they can, that they do have the evidence that these are U.S. biological weapons and biological laboratories. Moving on to the U.S. biological labs in Ukraine are a direct threat, says Russia. The presence of biological laboratories in Ukraine under U.S. leadership completely changes Washington's role in an instrument of direct threat to the Russia, said Maria Zakharova, an official representative of the U.S. Foreign Ministry. Yes, we see here that Chabul has an absolute hard time reading these foreign names, but will keep on pushing because he has to. Moving on from the news to the false flag and Second Amendment is under attack section of your MHM News. We haven't rolled this one out in a while. Why? Because it's so hard to figure out what is a real false flag until you come across an article like this. Atrocity at kids hospital bombed by Russia, Ukraine official says. A maternity hospital in the southern port city of Mariupol was bombed by Russian forces on Wednesday, Ukrainian authorities say, making a brutal new low in the 2-week-old invasion. Yes, we see here that why would Russia point a bomb at a children's maternity ward hospital? Because nobody really would. Nobody. Well, oh gosh, what about when they went into Iraq? And was it Iraq? With those babies. Oh my gosh, we killed those babies. U.S. has reached lows. Maybe this is a staged event, false flag. missile that went off of course. Either way, I'm putting this in a false flag section. But we kill babies. We kill babies. Moving on. So you shut your mouth. We'll bomb who we want. It's war propaganda. Urgh. Moving on to yes. U.S. considering sanctions against India. Washington wants New Delhi to denounce Moscow or face penalties for buying Russian weapons. Washington is looking at the possibility of sanctioning India over New Delhi's purchase of Russian weapons, a senior State Department official has told Congress. The U.S. is also pushing into Moscow over the current conflict in Ukraine. Yes, we are seeing that India is just going about their country's way and buying weapons to protect themselves after India has been seeing threats come over from China in recent years along their border, and United States is going to sanction India, but India has just a couple weeks ago approved cryptocurrency for transactions. So even if you sanction them, you're cutting yourself off from the world. Moving on from the news to the gender war section with your MHM news. To Disney CEO Bob Chapek finally slams Don't Say Gay bill, says try to work behind the scenes, will donate $5 million, meet with Florida Governor Ron DeSantis update. Yes, the CEO Bob Chapek finally came out swinging against Florida's so-called Don't Say Gay bill, telling shareholders at the annual meeting Wednesday that the company had always opposed the legislation but opted to work behind the scenes to try to influence lawmakers not to pass it. Are we seeing that Disney is really truly trying to turn these children gay and do not mind that they are gay? So are we seeing that Disney is trying to corrupt the minds of children? I think so. So does this mean that we should all start standing up and protesting against Disney? My kids watch Disney, and that's one hell of a distraction for them. And I do talk to my kids about homosexuality and how it's a war against your brain, and you're really not homosexual. You just might be confused and feel some things, but homosexuality isn't real. Yeah, I said it. You like to touch other people? It's because you want to, not because you feel like you have to, in my opinion anymore. It's because it's a corruption on your brain. Penises go here, and we're not even going to get into that. Cancel me. I don't give a fuck. Moving on to the veteran section of your MHM news. I used to support homosexuality. Now I support on whoever you want to be. Truth Social is now at Vision 1.0.4. You can see your current vision, insecurity, and preferences. 104 from Anonymous, put out by Mel Q. Now is the time to pray. We're operational. God bless the United States of America. Yes, we see here that Truth Social is up and running, and that we got this drop off of Truth Social put together by Mel Q. So God bless America. Here we are. Moving on to another post grabbed by Mel Q. With all these multiple posts put together, this in a short statement, Scavino tweet is a Q clock. I forget where Scavino's tweet is somewhere around here. Oh gosh. Is a Q clock 2 if by C and -1 clock match the lights off marker. Also a 3-year delta for Obama wiretapping. Additional connections for we are winning bigly is happening. Full send. Bring on the pain. Pain is 23, which is Wallenberg. All he pulls the strings, and he pulls the strings of puppets, Obama and Deep State Joe. Law of War Connections 11.2, 11.3, 11.4, and 11.5. Are we seeing that the information that is coming out over these platforms is hitting to where it needs to hit, and we are going to see ourselves hit these Law of War Connections mighty soon? I think so. Moving on from the news to the gosh, that was a tough one. Now, with all the energy I had, it was good. It was good, but I couldn't stay focused because I'm reading, but my brain starts to go to the future. It can't stay where it is all the time. I could read. Believe me, I can read. I love reading. I love reading. That is all for now from the Mental Health Militia News, where I am your host, Chabot, here with. Oh wait. That is all for now from the Mental Health Militia News. Mr. Munster and Chabot, have a good one. God bless you and yours. Holla at Chabot. Two fingers. See, my brain, it just doesn't always stay where I want it to stay. It just doesn't. It has too much fun. That's the truth. We're having fun. It's always fun. Too much fun. Way too much fun. Da 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 da.